Good evening again. For those of you who don't know me, Dave Clark, the lead remedial project manager for Treasure Island. Manage the entire base-wide program along with Keith, and of course get the site-specific support from project managers Bryce and Tony did the presentations tonight, as well as Chris and Daniel Janda and Louis Cardinelli, who manage several projects as well. So that's your TI team that work to get the contracts in place, work with the contractors. And one of the tools that we use is the document tracking sheet. So tonight you had several presentations on various sites, and then Keith did an overview on some other sites as well, just in general. We always at Treasure Island seem to have about 20 documents in the works on various sites on Treasure Island. We talk a lot about Site 12, but the map over here to my left here shows various sites, some open, some closed. They're at various stages of the circle process for circle contaminants, and petroleum projects are on their track as well. So this is something that we use because there's so much going on across Treasure Island, especially now. We seem to have work going on all sites. This is something that the regulators can use as a snapshot, part of the site management plan, which is a master document. It has a master schedule for past and the future. And if you go to this, you can see it's by site, and you'll notice that it has documents that we talked about tonight. So you'll see that there's a lot of Site 12 documents that has to do with the work that Bryce and Tony are talking about. The feasibility study, which is in fact the final feasibility study for Treasure Island, that is complete, so that's a major milestone. And then, as we discussed, there will be some additions. Every time we take a document off, it seems like there's another addition. So there will be documents related to the upcoming work that was mentioned. So you'll see that there's just a lot of things going on. And then item number 7 is the building survey supporting documents. This has to do with the building interior scanning that Keith mentioned for the radiological. So there will be various documents that help outline exactly what we're going to do. On page 2, again, you go through several of the sites. One of the key things that is of interest, item number 16, the Historical Radiological Assessment Technical Memorandum. We talked about amending documents. This document amends the 2006 Historical Radiological Assessment. So right now the document is with the Navy for final review before it will go final in June 2014.
Is that basically on schedule, you think?
Yes, right now, since we have the document, it'll take us about a month to go through it, and then we'll issue the document final. But again, this is something that it's an update, and if we need to update something again, we will, because it's a snapshot in time. So if something needs to be documented further, there could be another amendment to the original HRA.
So you would produce a whole document like this guy?
It will look something like that, correct. It'll be basically a supplement to that, yes. And then the field schedule, this is also something that regulators look at to see what work is going on in the field. And we're sort of ramping down on several sites. Site 27, the field work is done, but we still have some work to do at sites 31, 33. But again, in the future, the majority of the work will be at Site 12, and that's going to be ongoing. This will be an ongoing thing for years to come. As the other sites basically come to completion, and the majority of the work is left at Site 12. So this is something that will get simplified eventually to basically Site 12, and then long-term monitoring for various sites.
On the radiological surveys for various areas, is that the CDPH clearance that you're going for?
No, there's actually various sites that, if you've seen the draft HRA technical memorandum, There are some sites that are projected to be deemed radiologically impacted, that's the term, which means they may or may not be contaminated.
Yeah.
We were leaning forward, as Keith mentioned today, to start scanning those things now, because we know that they probably need future investigation, so we just were able to get the resources to start it now, do it faster, and so it's a little bit ahead actually of the HRA, but you'll see it's basically reflected in what's in both documents.
So is the CDPH clearances in here? I don't see it really.
Not yet, no, there's no, final status surveys for the individual sites yet. So that's not on the document. It's not on the document tracking sheet yet.
None of the banks?
Not for those sites, it's not on the document tracking sheet. It is in the master schedule. You'll see final status survey for various sites.
How often do you do these document tracking schedules?
This is something we have to update monthly, so it's constantly changing. It's a little
And
bit
where is
table.
it, if we wanted to see it? Is it
Right now, we pass it out basically at every RAT meeting, and it may actually be posted on Envirostore if it's given to the agencies.
I don't think they actually put the every other month one on there.
Okay, I haven't checked it lately, but sometimes they do put that information.
I think the Navy has to say, please post, and they probably would, but
Many posted for us.
I checked the website before I went to the meeting, and there's nothing more recent than, well, depends on what you're looking for. Correspondence is about three or 4 months behind. And then they post correspondence for Site 12 only on a biannual basis, twice a year. So they're not up there. It would be great if they would speed up that schedule.
Anything else? All right, thank you.